Hey, you guys, happy Saturday. It's me, Rhonda, hopping on here to drop this little short video. How are you guys doing? Hi there. If you're new, welcome. I am happy that you landed on this video. And hi to all my subscribers out there. I woke up to a sweet message this morning, which is why I'm going to go ahead and do this video. Um, I just it just touched me so much, and I just thought, you know what? I know I share little bits and pieces of my, like, more than my health or my faith journey. I share a little bit about my health and my wellness, the things that I'm doing throughout the month. But Tammy had messaged me and asked me if I could do a video on how to stay motivated in fitness, because I had made a post on my Instagram, which y'all, I rarely do anything like that anymore. I cannot tell you how complete 180 I have done as far as social media. And so I just happened that morning to feel inspired and feel really good, and just was like, I cannot believe that something so simple can be so challenging. And how can I have been working out for my entire adult life pretty much daily, and something like this challenge me like I'm being challenged? So anyway, the question was, is how do I stay motivated? So I thought I would get on here and just share a couple of my tips. I know it's kind of off topic of what my usual channel content is, but in reality, y'all, my faith journey, it covers everything of my life. It includes everything of my life, the way that I eat, the way that I study, the way that I take care of my body. So I think that was a very interesting topic to take a little bit more of a depth step into, because y'all, I'm not always motivated. I am not always motivated. And so what I will share, I didn't even make notes. I just thought I would get up here and just kind of off the cuff share. So what I do is, the first thing that I've done is I've just made health and wellness part of my lifestyle. So there's nothing that I do, I'm going to try this new fad diet or that new fad diet, because I've done that most of my whole entire adult life that I can remember. I've always been on some kind of diet or way of eating, or cutting out this food, eliminating that whole food group. And y'all, it never lasts, or at least for me, it hasn't. It has never lasted longer than the amount of time that it maybe took me to drop the few pounds that I wanted to drop. And then I would just go back to the way of eating, because I'd get this little bit of confidence, like, oh, well, I can just drop it whenever I want to. So if I want to lose 5 more pounds, I'll just cut this out. And y'all, it's non-sustaining. You can't do it for a long period of time. So it's not a lifestyle. It is called a diet, because you are short-term changing what you're eating, because all a diet is what you eat. It's not, how they say, well, I'm on the keto diet. Well, that's not really a diet. That's just kind of, the diet is what you put in your mouth. That's just what you're choosing to eat, your way of eating. And so for me, many years of doing that totally messed up my metabolism and totally messed up my mindset. It was almost like I had this mental distraction that I am what I allow my body to eat, consume, the way I don't work out, the way I do. I was like identifying myself with the way that I physically looked on the outside. So if I was overweight, or in my mind overweight, because I'm short, so weight shows a little, more proportionally on me, or disproportionate on me, quicker than maybe someone who's taller. I got so hyper focused on that it became, every time there was something new out there, that would motivate me to change my ways for a short period of time. But as of late, since I've become, and this is, I don't even know how to express this other than, once I really stepped into my identity in Christ, was I able to let that baggage off my shoulders. Because it doesn't matter to me how people see me physically, because they're going to see me and judge me no matter what I look like. If I'm too thin, if I'm too muscular, if my legs are too big, or if my butt sits too high, if my boobs are too puffy, it doesn't matter. They're going to judge me according to who they are. And I was so busy and so worried about that judgment or that how they saw me that it distorted how I saw myself. They actually call it dysmorphia. So there's actually a way that, you know, they like to give names to things, that when you look in the mirror, you see all your negative things. Where when your husband looks at you, he sees your beauty. When your best friend looks at you, they see your beauty. It's only the naysayers and the people who are jealous of you who can look at you and critique you, make you feel less than you are. And so once I stepped into my true identity and really allowed Christ to just kind of change that veil of what I thought I needed to look like to please the outside world, and just really started to focus on, what does his word say about me? What does he say who I am? How does he see me? That was when a switch flipped and I started looking at things differently. And plus, I'm 56 now, so I hit menopause probably 48, 49 is when I really had like made the change or whatever. You know, my periods had stopped. I could really tell the estrogen was starting to be used up in your body, because what happens is your body stores estrogen all your life. That's what kind of makes you fluffy and feminine. And as you get older, those storages start to deplete, which is what causes this extra skin here and, you know, just a little, the crepey skin. That's lack of estrogen and collagen leaving your body, which you don't keep making after a certain point of time. So I started really looking at hormonal health, metabolic health, and things like that. What is happening in my body? That was another thing that motivated me to keep going. And so when I started what's the word I'm looking for? Replenishing my hormones, because I use bioidentical hormones, which are little pellets that they insert underneath your skin, and they're like a sustained release. So you go like 90 days, sometimes 100 days. I personally have been doing it for almost 2 years now, and I've noticed that I have to go shorter period of time because I do exercise hard. I do stress my body working outside in the heat, and all of that increases your metabolism, which also increases your consumption of those external hormones. So where some people may take synthetic hormones, you know, progesterone or estrogen or pastes or anything like that, I chose to use testosterone pellets, because testosterone breaks down into estrogen in your body. So this is just all things through my research, through listening to podcasts, listening to my nurse practitioner, and just kind of learning about my female body and how it ages. How can I take care of my body as a woman now that I've gotten the worry out of, what does that person think I'm looking like? What is that person? Are they judging me? Are they looking at me crooked because I'm 56? You know, those things weigh so heavy on a woman's mind. And you can deny it and you can say, I don't care what nobody thinks. You do. You do deep down inside. I still can say, I do sometimes feel myself comparing. But I'm quickly to reel that back now, a lot more quicker than I used to be, and just say, you know what, Rhonda? God created you in this body, in this compact size, to be strong so that you can work outside with your husband, to be strong so that you have broad shoulders for when your friends need you, that you can help carry their burden. So I just redirect that little negative energy that I may feed into for a little bit. And so that's another little motivation thing, is just to really start recognizing the good things in your body, how you are built, how you carry yourself, how does your confidence come out, how attracting are you to maybe people who are less confident, how can you encourage and uplift those folks so that they can start looking at themselves in a different way. And so all of that to me is motivating. Changing up the way I eat and intermittent fasting has been a huge life changer for me at this time in my life. I denied fasting for a long time because I just thought that it was, I don't know, just well, all you're doing is going into starvation mode, because I was brought up in the generation of eat 6 small meals a day plus snacks to keep that little fire kindling in your body, to keep it burning. False facts, false information. That's not true. Your body is meant to fast. That's why at nighttime when you're resting, that's the best time for your body to heal and regenerate itself, because it's doing nothing else. It's not digesting. It's not having to, work itself over time, storing, burning, do anything. All it has to do is regenerate and restore and recover from the toxins and the environmental stressors that we have in our day and the things that we are putting in our body that is completely unrecognizable as food. So it's having to work and break down super fast because of the things that we put in our body. Which brings me to a whole nother topic of biblical eating. I follow Mary at the Rose Homestead, and I have just been ate up with her content because number one, she's so soothing to my soul. The way she talks, the speed of the cadence of her voice, and the imagery in her videos is just, it's so calming and it's so inviting. And I have just fallen in love with her and her channel and her content. And she has taught me to slow down. And that's been huge. That keeping up with what everyone else is doing in their workout journey, or what are they doing health-wise, has made me to take a step back and say, Rhonda, you already know what to do. Just do it. Implement what you know, what you've researched all your life, in your nursing, in your health and wellness journey, as a coach, and those, do what you know you're supposed to do, and quit looking for something new and shiny that's going to do something halfway for a shorter period of time. So that's what I've done. So intermittent fasting was just never in my radar because I just didn't think that it made sense according to the way I was taught. So once you open up your mind and you take those blinders off and you listen to how it works, how our bodies were designed to work, how our bodies were designed to process food, how to recover and rest and heal ourselves, in those times where there is no food available, what happens? The old dirty cells that are dying and decaying are taken care of and eliminated so that new healthy cells can come alive and be fed. And then that's where like your metabolism naturally starts to boost itself. And then of course, any kind of exercise that you do to help build muscle, break down muscle, rebuild muscle, break down bone, rebuild bone, it's all fresh. You're not trying to breathe life into dead, old, decaying cells. So fasting works great for that. And I'll list a lot of the videos and the podcasts that I listen to, and you could just go at your leisure and listen to them, because something's going to click with you where you're going to hear something, and that one thing will be all you needed to hear to break through to the next level. That's how it happens for me. I can be going right along, and all of a sudden I'll hear something, like when Mary shared about, like just how the freshly milled grain bread is so much better for you. It knocked me I'm like, bread? I love bread. And if bread can be good for me, I'm going to research that, because it's all in what captures your mind and motivates you to move into another lane and to look at something different that you may have blocked out your whole life because you were told that's not good for you. So y'all, I could go on for days on a video like this, but I just really wanted to kind of jump on what gets me motivated, and it's new things, new research. So every month, so you guys know that most of you that follow me, I work out every single day. I'm not always doing hardcore workouts. I have a weighted vest that I wear on the weekends because that's when I do my walking workouts. But every month I change up what I'm doing. And I've chosen, I don't go to a gym. I don't like to go to a gym. I don't like to leave my house. I am happy on my little homestead. And so I don't like to go to a gym. And I used to be a Beachbody coach, and I've long been out of that company, but I kept my Beachbody membership current so that I can use the programs. And so every month I will pick a new program to do. Most of their programs are like 6 to 8 weeks. Like I just finished a 4-week program, and now I'm in a 6-week program, and I change it up. I'm finding that I really love weightlifting, strength training. And so after I'm done with this month, I may look into doing something like that. But that's what I do. I change it up so it never gets boring. But it's also never an option. It's part of my lifestyle. It's just like my quiet time in the morning. My day is my day in my mind is destroyed if I don't get my first um, things checked off my list. And I don't even know that I call it a list. It's just who I am. When my eyes open up, I'm thanking God and I'm talking to God right then and there before I even get my feet on the ground. It's just what I do. And as I'm talking to him, I'm reaching over and I'm grabbing my watch and I'm putting my watch on because my watch is a motivator for me. There's little challenges on here, little things that goes, it like beeps to remind you, oh, you need to stand. It's been, 50 minutes and you've either been sitting too long or it hasn't detected that I've been moving around enough to stimulate movement, so to speak, on my watch. So that's another thing that motivates me. But my lifestyle is what it is, and I don't allow myself to give myself excuses. Even if I sleep in, I'm still going to do what I need to do. And my sleep in, y'all, maybe like 5:15, 5:30. I'm up 4:30 just because it's who I am and it's my internal being. But I make my exercise just part of my lifestyle. I'm going to get up and I'm going to talk to God and I'm going to pray and I'm going to get strength from those minutes that I have in my quiet time. And I don't miss a beat. I don't go and just kind of hang out in the kitchen, or because then I will easily be, oh, well, I'll do it later. No, I know I'll never do it later. If I say I'm going to do my workout later, it's not going to happen. I struggled when I did the 75 hard getting that second workout in the afternoon because that's not me. I work out in the morning because I am a morning person. I've made myself a morning person from years and years and years of enjoying that quiet time before the house rose. And so now it's who I am. You can do the same thing. You just have to want it more than you want to stay the same. And you have to want it more than looking at other things that may seem easier. It's not easy. And if you take the easy road, it doesn't go very far. The hard road is what helps you to put your muck boots on and go through it even when it's raining or it's snowing or it's a blustery day. You can work out inside. Body weight workout, walking on YouTube videos, which is something that I'll share, but you have to make it part of your lifestyle. So just as important as it is for you to get up and have your quiet time with the Lord, it's just as important for you to commit to yourself, to take care of yourself. And y'all, I only work out 30 minutes in my workout. Right now I'm only doing 22. That's what this program, it's only 20 minutes. So I do a little warm up and then afterwards I do a little, so it's about 22 minutes. But you can do it. You cannot say I can't do it. There's chair workouts, there's wheelchair workouts, there's strength training workouts that you can do just with your upper body. I have these little egg weights, which are like my favorite. 1.5 pounds. And if you use these when you're walking and then just do a few, these add resistance. My weighted vest is only 12 pounds, but it's added resistance. So you can always change it up. And the change up is what keeps you motivated, because it's so easy to keep trotting along in the same routine, and then you hit this plateau and your body knows. Your body says, I ain't got to work half as hard as I did because I'm so used to doing this. I can do it in my sleep. So that's why every month I take it upon myself to change my workout. My body doesn't know. My mind doesn't even know what I'm going to do. And so I finished on the Beachbody. Actually, it's called Body now. But I did the 3-day split, which is 3 days a week was sculpting and strength training. And the other days I just walked in my weighted vest, or I would do a Pilates. This week, or this month, starting in July, I'm doing something that's called Body Lava. And it's it's more of a body weight program. Now, I really got wrapped up in yoga a few years back, and it changed my body so much. I loved the way I felt, but it just crossed ties with my Christian beliefs, and I just could no longer, in my heart, do it. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. There's no such thing as Christian yoga. It just does not exist. You're just putting a false name on something that's still pagan in its roots. And so anyway, it was really hard. So this workout I didn't want to do because it had, they said it was like some, what is it? A yoga hybrid. I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to do that because that's got yoga in it. It's really not. They probably should take that off of in my opinion, because you're really not doing any sort of the yoga. You may be doing a like a squat hold, and you're holding it isometrically. And if you were doing yoga, they would call that like a goddess pose, because you're doing your arms. And but this, you're just like literally like primal. It's like a primal workout. So you're low to the ground, you're doing body weight, and that's what makes your heart work super hard. That's why I can't breathe when I'm done in my 20 minutes. So anyway, what I'm finding is I'm really liking this program. I'm liking to hate it. I like it because it's super short. I hate it because I literally can't catch my breath at the end, which isn't a bad hate. It's not, it's definitely a challenge. But it has agility. You're doing primal, so you're doing a lot of things on, you can do things on your wrists. It's making your wrists strong. You're doing one-legged stances for balance, which is really good with your ankles, because I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of people have really bad hips and knees because they have weak ankles. So when you start paying attention to your foot health, which is a whole nother rabbit hole, you start paying attention to your foot health and the shoes that you wear and the way, you know, you don't have like the ankles that turn in. You have to start walking on the outside of your feet more, so that you're strengthening the weaker tendons and ligaments of your ankles. You'll start noticing your legs, or your knees are not so turned in, and your hips aren't so turned inward. So it's all alignment. You guys have, I'm telling you, your body is so much more than just what you put in it. And you've just got to learn to learn about your body. We're not taught this stuff. This is stuff that you have to self-seek. And the medicine practices today, y'all, you have to be your best advocate. You can't trust that you're going to go and get true straight up healthcare. It's just there. It's all about, this is probably not nice to say, but I don't care. Coming from a nurse, I've seen the inside and I've seen the outside, and I've seen how it's changed. It has changed. Or maybe I'm just becoming more wise. I don't know. But people are getting sicker by taking medicines to help them get better. It's not aligned to help you get better, for the most part. I know there's some medicines and there's some disease processes. Everything doesn't fit into a compartment that are life-sustaining for some people. But for the general population who are pretty young, pretty healthy, or middle-aged, pretty healthy, you can take care of yourself, and you can reverse a lot of your conditions by watching what you eat and getting yourself more active, period. Motivation for me, longevity. And another thing that keeps me going is I don't want to fall when I'm older and break a hip. You know, most people who break a hip end up dying from pneumonia because of lack of movement, because of the pain, or the way they heal, because they didn't go to physical therapy. There's just so much more than just what the surface shows. You've got to make yourself important enough to take care of yourself. Don't rely and don't think on, well, you know, when I get older and that time comes, I'll take care of myself. No, you won't. It'll be harder, and you'll be far worse off than if you start taking care of yourself now. So let that be motivation. Be motivated that the Holy Spirit lives within you. What kind of temple do you want to present to God? You know what I mean? Those are the things that started changing my mind. The more I got in the Word, the more I started understanding who I am, is where the whole thing changed around. And this whole thing about biblical eating, I just really started watching a few videos the past couple nights. And I shared it on my Instagram stories just a few minutes ago, because I just milled my very first grain, whole grains. And it's just something, I just felt so like proud of myself that I was scared to push the button. I'm not going to lie, because I don't know. It's just like, this is a big step, Rhonda. You're taking a big step. Did it, piece of cake. Now I can't wait. My bread's in there now. I've already kneaded it up in there, and it's just going to sit there and it's going to do its thing, and I'll bake it in the morning. So I'm excited about that. It's a sense of accomplishment. And I've got a little garden growing. I'm telling you, this is all thanks to Mary. Just, I'm like, well, I'm going to try to grow a tomato plant. Y'all, I've eaten 5 tomatoes off my tomato plant. And I have one out there growing now. My pepper I didn't eat because I thought it was a red pepper. And it was green, and it stayed green forever. Then it started turning brown. I'm like, oh man, I must have just missed it or something. Little did I know that it just needed to hang a little longer. I ended its life prematurely. So I picked it and then I brought it in, and the brown started spreading and then it started turning red. But by then it had already got a little soft because I set it on my granite countertop. And I think granite ages vegetables faster. I can't prove that, but for whatever reasons, if I have my bananas sitting on my granite, it they seem to get mushy where they're sitting. So I don't know, something to think about. So yeah, so I've got that growing. Now I have a sweet potato growing, and I planted potato and an onion. So yeah, I'm a farmer now too. Who would have thunk? But so it's just little things like that that motivate me to make changes in my life. So Mary had shared about biblical eating, and then once, of course, you say it out loud, YouTube starts showing you things on biblical eating. And so I've just been watching, and it's not so much, oh my gosh, you can eat this and you can't eat that, but what God says in his word back in, Leviticus, when he's given down, this law and that law, and don't eat this and don't eat that. If you just take a minute and you take your worldly blinders off and say, well, why does he say, why can't I eat this? Why can't I? If you just think about it for a minute, he's protecting his children. He's protecting them. This you can eat, this you can't eat. And the reason being is because after the fall, the world was going into decay. Everything's dying now. So you're eating things that are dying as well. You got to be honest with yourself. And he's guiding them. He's giving them ways to live that will be healthier for them, to keep them living longer. They didn't have like well, you can't go to the ER here when this, when you're having a diabetes attack or a gout attack or whatever, anything that would cause you to seek. They didn't have that stuff there. So you had to avoid illnesses. When you got, gosh, so many of the kings that died with bowel illnesses and things like that. If you just stop and think, and I know some of that was God's hand on them, but those kind of things are what they had to deal with. And that a lot of that stuff is from bacteria and decay. They didn't have preservation the way that we do now, which is really not that good if you think about it. And so everything was eaten fresh. Whatever they grew, they ate, and they stayed healthy. So why in the world would we think that that would be a restriction in a bad way? Why wouldn't we understand that as being love? So when I started really just kind of listening to what the other side said instead, and get my mind off of, well, you know what, I love pizza and I love the way it tastes. I hate the way I feel after I eat it, but yeah, I'm satisfying that want. That want is so short-lived. If you were to walk and do a walk around your house 2 times, that feeling, that want, that desire would be gone, because that's how the devil works. The devil is just so short. He just wants to pick at you and make you be compulsive and respond. Then he's got you. But if you can just walk around, say a little prayer, you know what, Lord, I really want this bad food for me. But you know what? I'm going to take a walk, and I'm going to let you take that feeling away from me. Y'all, the devil will flee. He doesn't have time to chase after you. He wants to get you in the moment of weakness. When you're craving something, he's going to give you that, yeah, go ahead. You can work it off later, Rhonda. You know how hard you work out. Why not? Go ahead, enjoy it. That's what he does to me all the time. I kid you not. Sometimes I give into it, and it's almost like after I take that first bite, I know, you know what, this isn't even going to satisfy me. This isn't even what I was looking for. It was probably something completely different that I'm trying to feed this feeling with. So another thing, just look outside of what you're currently doing. If you need motivation, look outside of what you're doing. If you're bored, look outside, look broader. Find something that you would like to change, and do a little research. What if it's you just want to walk in the afternoon, or walk in the morning after your quiet time, but you live in a place where it's too cold, it's too dangerous, it's snowing, whatever. YouTube, if you're watching me, you've got YouTube, type in 20-minute walk. Hundreds, if not thousands, of videos are going to pop up. Pick one with the music you like. I'll list some of the ones that I follow down below. Yeah, walking is the best and lowest impact that you can possibly do. And you can do it in your chair. You can do like this, get your little hand weights, lift them up. There's just nothing that, get water bottles, get a glue stick, and align yourself. If you're doing this, your shoulders are in good alignment. Just go outside of where you are, and that is the first step. Because once you start feeling a few of those changes, it calls you back to want to do more. And then you start challenging yourself more. Then you start writing it in your planner, because now it's becoming something that you want to do every day. And how can I make it work? How can I put off some slotted time for this? And before long, y'all, it's your lifestyle. Then you don't have to write it down, because it's just part of who you are. You don't have to set an alarm or nothing, because you wake up early, because you want to spend time with God. You want to work out your body and have this stuff done before you have to go to work, before your kids get up. I've done it. I've raised 3 kids, and I still got my workout in before my 12-hour shift and my quiet time. So it can be done. It's just, is it important enough for you to do it? So anyway, y'all, this video is longer than I thought it was going to be, but this is stuff I could talk about all day long. No script, it's just because I've lived it. I've made it a part of who I am. And the more I study it and the more things connect in my mind, the more I want to share it and get it out there. It's not easy by any means to make a change. It really is not. And I want to say that it gets easier, but when it does, that's when you've got to make it, you've got to take the challenge up. You don't want it to ever be so easy that you don't think about it. You want to always think about doing. Once you know better, you have to think of doing better. You can't just know something and never use the information that you learn. It's just that I can't even understand that. I just can't understand that. I love learning and putting into action what I learn. I don't want it just to float around in my mind for some trivia day that I might get on Jeopardy, even though I say this all the time to my husband. I'm like, I need to know this, because one day I may be on Jeopardy and they may ask me that question about this particular Bible prophet that said this particular thing, and I might know the answer. That's kind of random, but it is. There's some things that I take and I just store away, but there's other things that I take and I put into action. Sometimes it works out for me, sometimes it doesn't, and I just change it up from there. But I'm always trying to fail forward instead of saying, oh, I've tried that in the past and it didn't work for me. Let me try it again. Let me see if maybe my mind is what was so closed off to it, which is why it didn't work for me. And I try to broaden my palate, because I can get very fixated on just certain foods that I like. Y'all, every other week I'm still buying an avocado, and I'm still trying to like an avocado, and it just isn't happening. I've tried to eat them pre-ripe. I've tried to eat them ripe. I've tried to eat them not so ripe, where I mash them up and make like a little salsa thing. I may never like an avocado, but what does that mean? I'm never going to not keep trying? No, because one day my taste buds might say, hey, remember when you didn't like broccoli and now it's like one of your favorite foods? Or I didn't like Brussels sprouts and now I love Brussels sprouts. And it's only because I just kept going. Let me just try it one more time. Let me try that workout one more time. Let me try that Pilates class one more time. And before long, it just becomes, you are the person that tries it one more time. And then one day it clicks and you don't have to keep trying. It just becomes something that you keep challenge yourself to do more of, or be better at, or stronger in. So anyway, Tammy, I hope this answered your question. I hope this inspires you and encourages you, and whoever else may be watching this that just needs a little push in the right direction, to know that, it is not easy. It won't be easy, and you don't want it to be easy. You want it to challenge you, because that's where you grow. Just like, when you're thinking about, when God's got you on the right path and everything's going good and and you're praying for all your friends because they're going through all these trials and tribulations, and then all of a sudden you hit something and you're like, wait a minute, what? I don't want to go through that. But yet God says, no, you've got to go through this so that you can keep on trucking, so that as your friends are going through things, you've had an experience that you've grown from, that you've been pruned through and grown through. So even though when you're growing well, you still got to prune off some of those those edges so that you can keep on keeping on. So if you've been working out and you're not getting results, if you're working out and you're bored and you're not getting results, try something different. Don't stop. Don't look for the next fast, quick fix. It does not exist. It will not exist. It just doesn't. Just look for something different to challenge you. Make your workout go 5 extra minutes. Challenge yourself 7 extra minutes. Just make it something that when you're done, you've beat that last PR, that last good one that you did, you take it a step further. That's all it takes, y'all. It doesn't have to be monstrous or whatever the word is. It can just be a 5 or 7 minute extension on your workout. And that will be enough for your brain to go, oh, we're doing this now? Okay, I can do that. And it'll keep going and you'll feel so much better. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was good. I hope this inspired you. I hope this is encouraging for you. I love talking on topics like this. And so, yeah, if you have any questions or comments, or if you have, I don't know, things that you want me to talk about, I am so open, y'all, because I've just been in a lull. I've just been kind of doing my thing and learning my new things and kind of not thinking that it would be something you'd be interested in hearing about, because, you know, I tried to make this, you know, what I thought God was calling me to do as a Christian content channel, but it's my life, and everything in my life revolves around God. So if there is something that I do that you want to know about, the way I study, or I don't know, I'm game to do a video on it. I had someone did ask me about doing a video on an empty nest, which maybe I'll try to do that one tomorrow, because I do have a whole new little prayer book on that, and I have nobody here. No children are here now, and my grandchildren are getting older. So it's like, oh, I'm almost really an empty nest. So anyway, okay guys, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Maybe that will be tomorrow, but if not, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye guys.